was a Thursday. The day itself held no real importance, just another tick on the calendar of an ordinary life. But I remember it with perfect clarity, not because of what the world was doing, but because of what she said as she stood in the doorway, her fingers curled around the frayed strap of an old navy duffel bag. "I'm going to stay with Aaron for a while. A month, maybe more. He's not doing well. He needs someone right now." Aaron. Not a cousin. Not a family friend. Not someone from work. Aaron, her ex-boyfriend. The one before me. The one she used to write tortured poetry about in college notebooks. I laughed. Not from amusement, but from that dry, involuntary place grief sometimes bubbles up from when the brain can't yet process the wound. I think I sounded like a man choking on dust. Our 17-year-old daughter Lena sat at the kitchen island, legs curled under her, half buried in her phone. She looked up briefly, rolled her eyes with the kind of indifference only teenagers can weaponize, and said, "It's just 30 days, Dad. Relax." In that moment, something inside me fell into place. Not fury, not yet. Just a strange stillness. A cold, echoing quiet like the air right before snowfall. We'd been married 18 years. Nearly 2 decades stitched together from scraps of salary, shared ambition, and midnight plans whispered over coffee cups. We'd built a rhythm that felt permanent. Sacred even. Morning walks through sleepy streets. The herb garden out back, thriving in its messy, aromatic sprawl. Sunday afternoons of doing absolutely nothing and feeling completely full. I had loved her. Deeply, loyally. I loved the way she hummed along to Fleetwood Mac, off-key and unaware. The small scar above her brow she got from a bike fall in childhood. Even her irrational hatred of cilantro. And Lena, she was our shared masterpiece. The living mosaic of everything we once believed in. But love, I've learned, isn't armor. It's a tender underbelly. It's where the blade slips in. 3 months before she walked out, there had been signs. Her phone, once casually left face up, was now always screen down. Quick errands now required lipstick and perfume. Showers at midnight. The scent of a man's cologne clinging to a sweater that wasn't mine. He asked once. Just once. She laughed lightly, touched my arm, told me I was imagining things. I didn't push. I just watched, listened, took notes. She mistook my silence for weakness. She didn't see the storm beginning to turn behind my eyes. When she left, I didn't fight. I carried her bag down the steps, placed it in the trunk. I kissed her forehead, not out of affection, but as one might bless a body before burial. I smiled faintly like a man dazed by loss. Let her think I was broken. Let him believe he'd won. In truth, I was becoming something else, something sharper. I hired a private investigator. A discreet man who spoke little but delivered proof in hard, grainy detail. Photos. Time-stamped texts. GPS logs. They weren't healing. They were rehearsing a new life. In the house I had paid for. Eating dinner off plates I had once dried by hand. Lena visited them often. Shared meals. Called Aaron by his first name like he was some sort of stepfather already. I moved in silence. First the money. I froze our joint accounts. Redirected savings. Placed assets into a protected trust with legal teeth. Then the house. My lawyer, expensive and brilliant, filed for divorce while she was still living with him. Abandonment. Adultery. Documented. Irrefutable. Screenshots. Even her own social media, where she had begun posting cryptic affirmations and blurry selfies with captions like, "Finally choosing me." People love to display their betrayals. They just don't expect you to be watching. When the month passed and she returned, she walked in like she was stepping back into a paused life. Her smile was casual. "I've done a lot of thinking," she said. "I needed time to realign myself. I'm ready to come back to what matters." I handed her a sealed manila envelope. Divorce papers. Every clause, every asset, every inch of the truth laid bare. Her expression collapsed. "You can't be serious," she whispered. "I am," I said. The court hearing was swift. She cried, denied, tried to spin tales. Erin didn't even show. Lena sat beside her mother in stiff silence, her arms crossed, her eyes full of heat. She looked at me like I'd been the one to shatter everything. But the judge saw clearly. Adultery. Desertion. She left with her clothes, her car, and a modest settlement. Kept the house. The trust. Peace. Afterward, she spat venom at me in the parking lot. You've destroyed everything. I met her gaze. Teddy. No, I replied. I just stopped pretending it was still worth saving. Few days later, Lena exploded. She stormed into the kitchen with flushed cheeks and fury in her voice. You punished her. You punished me. Love means forgiving people when they mess up. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I slid the folder across the table, the photos, the messages. The ones where her mother lay in a hotel bed with Erin, calling me naive and soft. Where she planned to never come back. Lena froze. Her face went pale. I'm not keeping you from her, I said. You're old enough to decide. But you don't get both. The shelter of my roof and the lies that tore it apart. Packed a bag. Left that night. Moved in with them. But fairy tales don't survive real life for long. Erin wasn't the man she remembered. The drinking came back. The debts. The shouting. One night he hit her. She didn't call the police. She called me. I didn't pick up. She filed a restraining order. Started posting vague stories on social media about healing and strength and starting over. She moved into a cramped apartment on the rough side of town. Took a retail job. Started over just like I had. Lena tried to come back a few times. I didn't shut the door. But something between us had changed. I let her in, but not too far. Choices ripple. She had chosen sides in a war I hadn't started. Now the house is quiet. Peaceful. The herb garden still grows. I make coffee every morning. I sit in the silence and feel no anger. Only clarity. People call me cold. Let them. I was kind until they taught me not to be. This was never revenge. It was revelation. Because love isn't the act of kneeling before betrayal. Sometimes the greatest kindness you can show is walking away. Before they realize what they've lost.